Let's discuss this further. I'm joined by Lacina Kone, who's Director General of Smart Africa. Now, your organisation works with African member states developing the continent digitally. Thank you for joining us from Kigali. Significant, perhaps, that you are in Kigali because they really are moving ahead in the digital world, aren't they?
Absolutely, yes.
Tell us all about it.
Well, thank you for having me. I think this coronavirus, the time couldn't be better, actually, because of a lot of laws were in place, but they were not really enforced in terms of digital development. But now we see either the governments or the private sector, they're all rushing to embrace digital economy in terms of the services to customers. And we've seen that, everywhere you were. I was just listening to your information in Kenya and Senegal and so on and so forth.
So what?
And Smart Africa. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, so why can Rwanda do it and other countries can't?
Well, because the Rwanda is actually geared and is prepared to actually develop a knowledge-based economy. And the knowledge-based economy really means digital economic governance. It's entirely different. It basically means the fundamentals are very different from a country where the economy is completely based on the natural resources. And here, the natural resources here is the knowledge. And that's why, and they're very aggressive. And that's one of the reasons, although, we were actually in confinement, but a lot of government services actually were operating because everything is online. Payment is online, government services are online.
Hold on, let me see if I understood this right. So you're saying the natural resources of a country help?
No, all I'm saying, the new fourth industrial revolution is not based on the natural resources as we know it. The new natural resources now is knowledge, it's a data. And Rwanda was able to embrace that. It's actually much more in advance than other rest of the countries in Africa by putting tools and regulatory issues and laws in order to promote a digital economy in the country. And you can see in Rwanda, for example, government services are available online.
Now, I understand that the World Bank has said that one of the biggest problems, and organisations like yourselves have said that one of the biggest problems and the biggest obstacle is connectivity. The World Bank has said that there's a shortfall of some $120 million. For a continent of nearly 1.3 billion people, $120 million is nothing.
No, it's actually called funding gap. Actually, let me correct that. It's not really 120. It's $120 billion gap in terms of funding gap for infrastructure. As we can see in Africa here, the broadband connectivity penetration is about 39% compared to 54% around the world. So we're trying to increase that in Smart Africa by 2025 to 50%. And this is actually true. It's actually related to so many things. It's related to connectivity, it's related to affordability. Remember, 39% is the connectivity penetration, but we have another 30% where we have a connectivity, but it's not affordable. And we have the remaining 30% where there is no interconnection or connectivity whatsoever.
Okay, so obviously there's a case of trying to find that money, but I want to point to the examples of Tunisia, Morocco and Algeria. They're now outsourcing digital services to Europe. Does that mean that they're pretty well set at home?
Absolutely, because North Africa, particularly, they've been very quick in embracing startups and entrepreneurship and innovation in digital skills. Because of the proximity to Europe in terms of time-wise and even the physical-wise, their proximity is a big advantage. So they've been outsourcing a lot of services actually in Europe and being developed in the North African country, and that's very true. And it's happening also for the rest of the continent.
Lacina Kone, do you know what? We had so many more questions, but we've run out of time. But I'm sure this is a story we are going to come back to. So I know I'll be chatting to you again. But for now, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.